Session 2, end of month. On the last day of the month, you want to make sure that all your batches are closed. It is okay to have PSI batches open, and it's okay to have regular cash batches open, but it is really best to have them all closed. You also must have all your adjustment batches closed, or it will not let you process end of month. You must process end of day prior to doing end of month. So if you're on the last day of the month, do your end of day and then process your end of month. End of month should be done on the last day of the month because the utilities that are charged to your residents happens like at midnight on the last day of the month. So if you wait till the first, then your utilities will not be charged to the resident. So to do end of month, you click on processing and you want to click on start month end processing. When you click on start month end processing, this locks the computer. This locks the system up so you can do the end of month processing without any issues. If you start month end process and get out of it and try to do something else, it will lock the computer up. So we're going to start month end processing. And like I said, once you start this, you need to follow it all the way through and not get out of it. So we're going to start month end processing. And by doing that, month end is started. Click on continue for today's page. This means your system is locked. So we're going to continue. We're going to go to processing again, and we're going to run preliminary AME. These are, when you click this item, it will print all your month end reports. If something happens, something glitches, you can run this over again. You can run it over again as many times as you need. But just make sure that you click on preliminary AME. So I'm going to click it. And this is the last day of the month. And this is continue payment even if residents do not have transactions for a potential type income code. So this will run, but it will give you an error report or give you a report of any residents that does not have, for instance, an amount for rent income, or for any income code that does not have a charge for it. It will show on this report. So we're going to run PAME. And as you see, preliminary accounting month end, it's processing. And again, this says this process cannot be stopped even if you close this window. So once you start, just keep at it. Preliminary accounting month end is completed. Hit OK. And you will see all the different reports that are ran. This is the preliminary accounting report. This is a list of residents who do not have transactions for potential type income code. So when you see something like this, right then you need to get out, go back into the resident's account and see what's going on. But we're just going to close this right now. And we're going to go in and we're going to do preliminary AME again. Like I said, it's processing again. And then it says, let's see, AME cannot be done because there are unapproved batches. This is the warning or exception report, whatever you want to call it, that lets you know you can't do AME because there are unapproved batches. Okay, so be able to see what batches are open. You go into reports, you go to accounting reports, and you go to unapproved batches. And we're going to hit display. Okay. So you see all these batches. This is the approved batch report, which this can be ran at any time. The Red River Bank batches, those are cash batches that you have made deposits for, you've entered. The PSI Property Solutions are batches that Entrada has created for payments made online. These are okay to be kept open. Preferably, you would want all of your batches to be closed except for the PSI. The PSI batches sometimes don't get approved the same day that they are created. Sometimes it takes a couple of days, so always make sure your PSI batches are left alone. But just make sure all of these cash batches are closed. You can close without approving these cash batches, but you cannot close because of these adjustment batches. These numbers right here are the batch numbers that you need to look for in the system. And once you close those, you should be able to close your end of month. So write these down on a piece of paper. And once you have them, you can click out of here. And you can go to your adjustment batches. I'll have my icons up at the top. You may not have yours up there yet, or you might not want them up there. But to go into adjustment batches, you would go to Ledger, and then you would go to adjustment batches. It brings you to the same spot. Okay, and then you want to look for the adjustment batches that you have open. So here they are right here. So I'm going to hit display to see what the totals are. And that's nothing, so I'm just going to delete that one. It says, are you sure you want to delete adjustment batch? Yes. We want to go to adjustments again. Again, that's ledger and adjustment batches. And here's this display. And it's nothing again, so we'll delete it also. Okay, while we're in here, we're just going to look at cash batches too, because like I said, all of your batches that you've created in eSite should be closed as well, leaving the PSI batches open. So again, we're going to go to Ledger and Cash Batch. Okay, so here's the Property Solution batches that are still open. Those are okay to leave alone. We'll click the batches and just see if there's any that's open. And see, here's all these batches that are open. So we want to click on display and see what the totals are. There's nothing there. So I'm going to just delete it. Now, if there was an amount there, you would need to go to approve and put in the your initials for approval and the total of the batch. But since there's nothing there, I'm just going to delete them. Just about doing the wrong thing. We're going to click on display on this one again. There's nothing there. Now, you have to keep going back to where they are. I'm just going to delete them all. This is the training database, so there's certain times that I'm in here working on stuff to figure out how it works or what happened to make it mess up. So there's a lot of times I have batches in here that are just dummy batches. Okay, so I've cleared all the batches. So now we will go into processing again, and we'll run preliminary AME. There's the end of the day, end of the month date. So we're going to run PAME. Completed, hit OK. preliminary accounting month end. We'll scroll down to the next page. Okay, it still says there's unapproved batches. So again, we'll go up here, we'll get out of this report and reports and accounting reports. Unapproved batches. Hit display. Okay, so now there's only one batch that's open. So we're going to go find this batch, 4519, and we're going to close this batch because it's one that I missed before. 4519, and that is a cash batch. Let's see, 4519, so we want to go back. Okay, here's one right here. Okay, let's just check our batches. Whoop, why is that one not closing? Okay, let me hit display and see what's going on. Okay, so here's one that actually has activity, but it's 0. So that means I have to approve it. I can't just delete it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit approve. I'm going to put in my initials, and it's the total of the batch is 0. So I'm going to hit save. And do I want to print? No, I do not. Now, out on site where you're at, you may want to print these, but I do not. Okay, so we're just going to look for batches again. Property solution batches are okay. Then we're going to go to processing and preliminary AME. Run PAME again. Completed. Click on that. So all the batches are approved, so now it's printing your reports. And like I said, do not click out of here because you will lock the system up. And you will not be able to log in or log out. So just sit and watch the reports generate until they're complete. Like I said, you want to do big, end of month when you have time and nobody is bothering you. Or if it's time to do begin a month, go in the office and shut the door so you can, when you start, you go all the way through. There have been times where managers have started this and then had to click out of it to do something else or walked away, and it's locked the system up. Or they don't get full reports. When it's during this part of generating reports, you definitely do not want to click out of here because then you will not get your full end of month reports that you need and that we need downtown for accounting purposes. I haven't really ever counted, but there's probably about 10 reports that are generating, or maybe more, that generates during the end of month processing. Okay, this monthly income summary will be the first report that pops up when it's done. These reports are automatically saved under the reports, under saved reports, and you can always go print them out. But these are all of the reports that are generated. And you probably won't use these reports or need these reports, but we use all of these to do our accountings And if there's any issues that residents have, we can use these reports to look at them. Since those are printed, then we're going to go and you want to make sure that the reports are printed. So just like I said, the reports and saved reports. And this takes a minute to generate. And here's what I just did, 228 of 21. These are the reports. So you make sure that they're there, so they're good. So we're going to go to processing. We're going to click on AME. That's accounting month end. But make sure that your preliminary AME reports are out here before you do AME, because once you do AME, you can't go backwards. You can't print these reports again. So processing and AME. And it's as of the end of the month date. Run AME. You're about to run accounting month end. Do you want to continue? Okay. And this will take a few minutes also. Again, do not click out of this. Accounting month end completed. Okay. And it still gives you the accounting month end as a list of residents who do not have transactions for potential type income code in the current accounting period. This is when you see this, even in preliminary, you need to go check this resident and make sure that their all their charges are correct and their account is correct. This is letting you know that there's something wrong with this resident, so it needs to be investigated. The second report is accounting month end, and we have successfully closed the property. By this report saying property is closed. So there's no need to print these out except for this exception report that lets you know that there's something going on with this resident. So I'm going to click out of these reports, and I'm going to go back to processing, and I'm going to end month-end processing. This is a very important step. If you do not end your month-end processing, it keeps your system locked, and intrada payments can't come over. So you have residents that are paying and it's not coming over to their account. Any utilities or something like that, any additional like automatic charges will be blocked out. So you must make sure that you end month-end processing. This will release your system and unlock it. So I'm going to click on that. In month-end processing, and says done with month end. Continue. And that is the end of day process. Thank you.